One day I'll figure this. One day I'll figure this out. I'll figure out how to really use live. If I use it more, I just really don't be, doing too much on this channel. So, there's really no real like reason why I will learn how to do live. But who knows? Maybe I'll just start doing lives from here on out. I don't know. I mean, I'll probably upload some content at some point, but I'll just be busy. I'll be doing a bunch of other things. So, yeah. Anyways, what was I last talking about? I know that I was talking about, homosexuals and how, and this is just my opinion, but I feel like they have a better chance made into the Most High's mercy. I believe that He will have more mercy for them than these people who are hypocrites, because some of these people, like, they can't help the way they are because of previous trauma, things that happened to them when they were young, and it molded them into the people that they are today. Now, I don't know. Alazar may have had some trauma in his life because, that brother, it was just something always about him that screamed crazy to me. This brother had a twitch to him that I'm just like, it's something about this brother, man. He crazy. And then he had crazy eyes too, man. Like, anybody who's from the hood, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know that individual who just look crazy. Like, you can tell everything ain't connecting or clicking up there. He seemed like one of those individuals to me. But like I said, man, this man is calling himself chief priest. I better never ever hear this brother call himself chief priest or anyone refer to him as chief priest again, because I tell you this, had he been a chief priest, he would have gone the way of two of Aaron's sons. Y'all know what I mean by that. He would have been vaporized. His ass been toast as soon as he would have stepped beyond those curtains in there to where the mercy seat is. Yeah, that man would have been toast. Hell, he wouldn't have been toast. It would have been nothing left but dust. That boy would have been a burnt offering to the Most High. And I'm laughing about it because, I try to make a little humor of things, try to make the serious situation a little light, but it is a serious situation. And the only reason why it's serious is because he's leading people, and he has been leading people for several years. That's the reason why I'm so upset. What he does behind closed doors and his wife agrees to it, that's him. Because his wife, honestly, this is my opinion, but if his wife did not share this because she was trying to expose his evil, she's just as evil as he is. Just as wicked and unclean as he is, because she partook in these activities. And, she was essentially, say if she wasn't trying to expose him, but just sharing, things with her friends, then she's just as bad. But if she was exposing him, I'm glad she did. And I hope she did it for the right reason. I hope she did it with the right reason, because one reason why I'm saying, like, I hope she did, I'm kind of doubting that she did, was because she swore her friends to secrecy. So if that's the case, and she didn't want her friends to tell anybody, but keep it with them, then you're just as wicked. But I'm glad those sisters spoke out and told the truth. And see, this is the thing. You know how he was like, how I mentioned how this brother was trying to put emphasis on that they didn't keep their oath. Well, remember this: if y'all want to go that far, and y'all want to talk about order and all that stuff in the hierarchy, remember, if a brother knows that his wife is up here trying to make an oath, or try to swear, make a promise, anything like that, remember, the husband, he can take that shit back. And I'm sure that's what the husbands did. It's like, oh, hell no, you are not keeping this evil to yourself. You know, and honestly, I feel like a wife should not hide anything from her husband at all. Nothing. You know, if it's something serious and severe, it needs to be spoken about. Even if you don't even think that your husband would even care, or even care to, you know, solve whatever the issue may be. Because I can just imagine all these situations out here where people just get blindsided because people holding secrets. What I was trying to articulate earlier was that, you know, with this being exposed, the good that comes of this, and the good that comes of me speaking of it, you know, other brothers and sisters speaking of it, is to make people aware, right? People who are following these demonic individuals. Because now they know that, okay, well, I don't have to deal with these people. I'm seeing what I don't want it to do. I don't want it to take away the good of what they have learned under this damn devil. Because these doctrines ain't something that he came up with. Now, sure, he has his own doctrines and stuff, but, you know, I just hope that in this situation, the people that the Most High pulls up out of this situation, because this is nothing more than the God of Israel pulling, you know, and making these things come to light. Man, like I said earlier, man, nothing is hidden. Nothing is hidden under the sun. Nothing. So I don't know why in the hell he thought that this shit was going to stay secret. But, you know, God of Israel, he exposed all this. He exposed it. And I'm just hoping, sorry about the sounds. I know it's pretty loud in this truck, so I'm trying to speak as loud as I can. But I know that the God of Israel is bringing this truth out about them, because these people are pretty prominent in the Hebrew Israelite community. They're very prominent. One of the most prominent camps out there. And they got a lot of people who are in their congregation. And, I mean, literally over the past few years, they've been going around the country building different chapters to their congregation, to their organization. They've been building in different cities, trying to do the same thing IUIC and ISUPK is doing, or has been doing, right? And GMS and all those camps, right? They're doing this. They're trying to do the same thing. They got a lot of following, a lot of influence. And the God of Israel's like, nah, buddy, we gotta kill this. We gotta nip this in the bud. Because you pulling it out, because it's gonna be a lot of innocent blood. It's gonna be a lot of blood on their hands, man. There's a lot of blood on their hands. I can just imagine the doctrines these people have created, or the wickedness they justify, just because of their hypocrisy, just because they won't fulfill their evil, wicked desires. That's dangerous, man. And then possibly leading hundreds, if not thousands of people astray. I'm glad the God of Israel used those sisters to bring out that truth. Because it needs to be said, it needs to be brought out. That evil needs to be exposed. People need to talk about it. People need to condemn it. That's what needs to happen. He needs to feel shameful, because, like I said with that video that I saw the other day, I don't feel like he was feeling shameful at all. He was doing the run-of-the-mill press release. You know, when people try to do damage control or try to do a little apology, you know, you can just tell that it's not authentic at all. That's what that shit felt like. It felt so unauthentic. Disgusting, man. But this is what I want people to understand, is that he's not the only one out there. He's not the only one out there. And shout out to the people who are watching right now. But yeah, he's not the only one out there. There's many other people out there who are doing the same damn thing as he is. I mean, I've seen a lot of. There was a brother who released a documentary just, I want to say, probably about 2 years ago, talking about the camp that he was in. And mind you, this camp was affiliated with Sakari. I believe they were like a chapter of the camp. I think they were called no, not Sons of Thunders, but it was like Son of something. I can't remember the name of this camp. But they were based out of Baltimore. And it was a bunch of young brothers also, just like Sakari. Because it was essentially like doing the same thing Sakari. Because you know how Sakari is. They're known for being very abrasive, right? They're known for being very abrasive, very combative, wanting to always debate. These brothers was just like that, and they will be down there in I think it's called like the harbor area of Baltimore. I've never been to Baltimore before. Got a family friend who actually lives out there. But if y'all live in Baltimore, ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. They be over in that area being a bunch of devils. I would say preaching, but nah. They be over there being a bunch of damn devils, man. Making people kiss their boots. And I'm just like, where do y'all get that from? Where in scripture do y'all get that kissing the boot? They try to use, different scriptures trying to justify their actions, but it's like this, dog. If anybody's supposed to get the sword, it's supposed to be your enemy who's doing wickedness towards the God of Israel and you. Why are we treating Gentiles like this? Gentiles who submit. I mean, these Gentiles are literally humbling themselves to kiss your boot, and all y'all do is just laugh and mock them and all this stuff. And they're literally doing exactly what Christ told us to do to each other. That's why Christ wiped their feet. That's why he washed their feet. He was being humble. He was showing humility. Nothing like what these camps are showing today. And of course, I'm not talking about every camp. Like I said before, I'm going to reiterate. I'm not talking about every camp, but I'm talking about a lot of these big camps out here. And then these little smaller camps who try to emulate what they see from these big camps. That's what I'm talking about. And then again, I know that all the brothers and sisters who are in these bigger camps are not all wicked. But maybe y'all should, put the mirror in your face and self-analyze to see, oh shit, am I condoning this? Am I a part of the problem? Because you very well could be. You very well could be, because if you're complicit in this shit, you are no better than the person who's actually doing it. And I think that's why, those sisters told what they knew. Because it's like, look, if I know this information, I'm withholding this information. I'm no better than the people who are doing it. So salutes to those sisters who exposed that truth. But yeah, man, you got a lot of camps out here trying to emulate this shit. But like I was saying about that documentary, there's a brother who made a documentary about that camp out of Baltimore, and he was exposing how wicked they are, and how they was like taking advantage of each other, being wicked towards each other. I mean, just all sorts of wickedness. I'm not surprised. I really am not. I'm not surprised at all. It's just these people use each other. I mean, these camps, all they're here for is to take your money and to keep the community stagnant. There's too much out here in this world, too much knowledge and information out here in this world that the Most High has. And these people are keeping you stuck in the same damn place, reading the same scriptures, month after month after month after month, same doctrines, 12 tribes chart, all this bullshit over and over and over again. Never elevated, never graduated. And this is why all this chaos is happening. Because they're no better than church. They just keep running the same game on people time and time again. Time and time again. It's sad, man. I mean, it really is. It's sad. Hold on, give me a second, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. I had to clear my sinuses. I had to spare you guys. I had to spare you guys. But anyways, so you gotta. Honestly, my recommendation, like when I'm meeting people who just come into this truth, I tell them all the time, like, you don't need to be in no camp. Because they be like, yeah, what camp are you part of? Are you part of a church or school? I'm like, look, you don't have to be. But if you're going to, be a part of a camp or a school, do your research about that camp or school before you even join it. Because, honestly, you don't need them. You really don't. You don't need them at all. You can learn what you need to learn from online. Take the good, spit out the bones. Chew the meat, spit the bones, and teach your family, and build your own little church with your family and close friends, people who you trust. Not these strangers out here that's doing strange things. You gotta prove, like the scripture said, you gotta prove a friend. You gotta prove a friend. Doesn't mean that there ain't gonna be no snakes getting in the midst, but you gotta prove a friend. So many of us, we wanna jump to friendship so fast, man. We meet somebody who we click with right off the bat and we're like, oh yeah, that's my friend. And then later on, a few months down the road, or maybe like a year or two down the road, y'all having major issues and y'all hate each other. I got plug in my phone. Oh, wrong thing. Bring this down here. Sorry. Anyways, I'll find it when I pull over. I'll go up there and just like pull over and look for it. But yeah, you gotta prove a friend. You just can't jump into friendships with people. You really can't. Because then you end up getting your feelings hurt when you find out how much a friend they aren't. I'm a lone wolf, man. I'm solo dolo. That's how I roll for the most part. I don't need friends. I don't need to be up in somebody's face or somebody up in my face 24/7. Sure, it's nice to have that, but I don't need it, And it's a blessing for people who do have, actual friends. That is a real blessing. But a lot of people, they get caught up in these camps saying these people are their friends. These people ain't your friends, man. A lot of these big camps, they are here to make money. They are just like the church. Just like the church. They pass around, the offer plate also. They do the same thing, man. They collect tithes and do the same thing your churches are doing. Alright, pull up real quick. So I can search for this phone charger. So I have a few of them, but I don't know if I took it out of my bag. Okay, so I have this charger right here, but this isn't the main charger. Oh. Sitting right here. Sitting where it's not supposed to be. That's why I couldn't find it. Yeah. Just plugged up and get back to it. Shout out to you people who are sitting here enduring my live stream. but seriously, shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. I don't know who y'all are, but shout out to y'all. But yeah, these camps, they're no better than these churches. And I just want people to realize that. And those who are leaving Sakari, I don't want them to be like some of these people who you've seen over the years who are like, oh yeah, I was a part of a cult and they were teaching nothing but like demonic stuff. Now, don't get it twisted. There are some people out there that are teaching demonic stuff and that are cults. I will say that Sakari is a cult. I will say IUIC is a cult. I will say that a lot of these big camps are cults, but not all of them are cults, and not all the stuff that they're teaching is falsehood and evil. I mean, but that's how they lure you in. They're going to teach you the truth. And then they're going to masquerade all the lies and all the evil as truth also. That's how they lure you in. They say it's easier to catch a fly with honey than with vinegar. So they're going to put the honey out there. They're not going to throw the vinegar in your face. They're going to put the honey out there to lure you in. And then they're going to poison you with all that vinegar. Even making you think that it's honey too. Yeah. But yeah, I really ain't got much more to say than that. But I'm just laughing. I'm just really laughing at the fact that he calls himself chief priest. I better never, ever hear that brother say that again. Chief priest. What makes you? That's what I need to know. What makes you qualified? What makes you qualified? Because that's one of the things. Like when it came to these titles and these ranks, positions. If I remember correctly, in Exodus, because yes, some of those ranks actually do exist. Like, of course, we have the bishop and the deacon. I believe it's in Peter. We read about it, right? But when we talk about like captains, judges, and all that stuff, we read about that in Exodus. All that stuff is real. But here's the thing. When it comes to those titles, guess what? The Most High was the one that designated those titles. He designated those titles. Remember, when they had just left Egypt, and they was I think around like they were dealing with the Midianites. They were dealing with Jethro. And since Jethro had experience, with leadership, military, and all that stuff, Aaron and Moses went to him to help establish the hierarchy, right? And they were given the different levels of the hierarchy. General, judges, soldiers, so on and so forth, right? These titles that we hear these Hebrew Israelites use today. But see, the thing is that the Most High set that up. The Most High had a... I'm sure he had, qualifications in order for people to even get in those positions. But you got people today who think that they're so Israelite. They think they're the most Israelite person ever and don't know a damn thing about Israel. They up here, man, and that's another thing too. But I'm not gonna get off the subject. But they don't know anything about their ancestors. They just know the little of what they can find in the Bible, and they think they super Israel. They think that they now they know the culture. They know what it takes to be leadership. And it's like, who told you that? Who made you a chief priest? Like, because you believe that you descend from Levi? Because you're Haitian? Because of some damn chart? That even the inventor of the chart said that the chart was false? That's why? Like, come on, dog. Make it make sense. That don't make no sense at all. Doesn't make no sense. Pardon me. Sorry about that. Alright, back. But like I said, man, these brothers qualifying themselves to be such and such and don't even know the qualifications. Like, if we be honest with ourselves, we know very little about our ancestors. Very little. And because your father was born in Haiti, because of some damn chart, you think that you're Aaron's sons? Like, are you kidding me? Because with that just, I mean, over time I just learned this shit is bullshit when it comes to these camps. Like, the reason why I fell out of the 12 tribes chart a time ago, I asked one of the guys who I called elder, well, what about what happened in the slave trade? He couldn't explain things to me because, for example, you had a lot of people. Now, this is if you go with the bullshit notion of the slave trade. I don't believe in that shit at all. And I'm sorry, like, I apologize about the vulgarity. It's just, I'm in that spirit right now where I'm going hard in the paint. But if you believe in the slave trade, it is what it is. I would highly advise you to go and do your own research, not just only on our history, but also on your family's history. And you will find out that a lot of this shit is lies, man. And from what I understand, from all the stuff that I have accumulated and gathered, man, the transatlantic slave trade is a bunch of bullshit, man. Bunch of lies. And I've been saying that for years. But even if you want to go with that notion, but we're gonna talk about the things that is true. Slave trade did happen. It just didn't happen from Africa to America. It happened from the Americas to Europe to Africa and also to different parts of the Americas, right? They were just moving people around like crazy, the Indians. So what I said to him under my ignorance years ago was, well, what about the folks in different parts of the Caribbean who were slaves here in America, right? Like, they weren't, when they were taking slaves from Cuba and put them in different countries, they wasn't like, oh, you're the tribe of Judah. We're going to put y'all over here so we can know which one is Judah, and then y'all go on this ship to the United States. Or, yeah, you guys are all, the tribe of Levi. We're going to send you from Cuba over to Haiti because that's where all y'all belong. Like, nobody was doing that. So it's like, how does that even make sense to people? Even if you know just a little bit about history and the slave trade, and I'm talking about the trans-American slave trade, and go look that up. You will see that. Go to Google, type in trans-American slave trade, and you will see all the movements of slaves in different parts of the Americas. And I'm not just talking about the United States. Yes, they were moving slaves from state to state, but they were also moving slaves from, say, Louisiana, from New Orleans down to Haiti, moving slaves from Haiti to Mexico, moving slaves from Mexico to New Orleans and different parts of the Caribbean and all that stuff, shipping them to West Virginia to Virginia, and shipping them from Virginia down to North Carolina, different places to Florida. They were doing a lot of that in the Americas. So it's like, the 12 tribes chart, with just that little bit of history. With that little bit of history, it just debunks the whole chart, because it's like nobody was keeping track of who these people were as Israelites. Nobody. What they were keeping track of, to a certain extent, was what Indian tribe these people belonged to. I'm talking about us. Tribes, the Indian tribes we belong to. That's what they were keeping track of, to a certain extent. Not in all cases, but in a lot of cases they did. Because there's brothers and sisters down in the Caribbean who look just like me, who trace their ancestry to indigenous tribes up here in the continental United States. You got people in Trinidad and Tobago who can trace their ancestry to North Carolina, to indigenous tribes in North Carolina. So yeah, 12 tribes chart, dismissed. It's a bunch of hogwash. It's a bunch of BS. But yeah, you got this man calling himself a son of Aaron. That's essentially what he's calling himself. a son of Aaron, because Aaron's sons were the chief priests. Crazy, man. It's wild. It is wild. You cannot make this shit up. You cannot make this up. Oh, man. I really hope I see a big falling out. Not falling away, because leaving camps ain't a falling away. You ain't a bug out. You ain't none of that stuff. You know, that they try to make it seem like you are. You ain't none of that, man. That's just their shaming tactics. They try to shame you into staying with them so they can benefit off of you. It is the same parasitic relationship that a pimp has with his hoe. Same way. Same thought. Oh yeah, if you leave, you ain't gonna survive without me. You ain't gonna have no protection. You ain't ish. Yada, 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 yada. Just a bunch of BS. That's the same thing they do to brothers and sisters who want to leave their organization. They ain't nothing more than pimps. No better than these churches. Nothing more than they ain't no better than these damn churches. No better than these pulpit pimps. Hustlers. It's a shame, man. Whole shame. Yeah. But anyways, y'all, that's all I gotta say for now. That's all I gotta say. Y'all heard what I said. I reiterated several times how I feel about this. I'm glad it came out. I'm so happy that it came out, that this truth has come out, because it needed to come out, because they're leading a lot of people astray. And now this is going to open up opportunity for people out there who are teaching the truth the best that they know it and aren't being hypocrites, right? This opens up opportunity to them, because now they're like, you know what, I remember that brother New Breed, or I remember that brother in Yarka, you know, or I remember that brother Danyala, they were saying this, but I didn't agree with them, or I couldn't agree with them because my camp wouldn't allow me to, you know. So now it can open them up to actually receiving the wisdom and the truth of the God of Israel. Anyways, guys, that's all I got to say for now. I will talk to you later. I pray that the Most High bless y'all all. Peace out. Shalom.